Okay, hello, welcome back to the vehicle repair toolbox videos, and this season is the season for electrical faults, and because it's damp we're getting all sorts of problems. I'm sure that a few people have suddenly realised that they got starting issues, or they have lighting issues for corroded bulb holders, things like that, because basically they haven't looked at them all year round and now they're getting issues. A couple of things I want to show you today, because I'm just digging out stuff as I've done stuff at work. I can't have the camera in there at the moment because there's just too many people around. So anyway, here's one thing just to remember: you might not have electrical faults now. Yeah, usually they happen when things dry out, yeah, or you get corrosion in the winter, stuff dries out, and then you get lighting faults later on at the start of the next winter, because you're only just then starting to use your lights again, yeah, unless you're running evening times or whatever, you know. Our trade, things are running 24/7, so we get more electrical faults when it gets warmer, believe it or not. But what I'll say is I always check lights after I've serviced something. If it's been in a warm workshop, what happens, it's been out in the damp and the electrical contacts are still wet, so they've got some continuity. They come into workshop, they dry out, and then just before you take something out, you usually find you have an electrical fault, yeah. And it's happened to me a few times, therefore I'm always very cautious about this. I always go for, if I get faults, I always find stuff that's got black tape on it, because this is the spawn of Satan. It traps moisture in, yeah, and what happens, I don't know if you can see in there, that's probably rubbed off by now, but what happens is it traps the moisture in and it actually promotes corrosion in connectors, yeah. So don't use this stuff, yeah. Either replace the wiring completely or just have it open, because at least then it dries out. Yeah, like these, they actually got a light corrosion on it, yeah. The other thing is, what I'll tell you about is with dissimilar metals you get more corrosion in connectors than what you do if both connectors are the same metal. These are aluminium, yeah, and they aren't as corroded as bad. Okay, they're tarnished, I can work with this, I can clean them up and then reuse them, whereas this will start to rot and that'll be no good. Anyway, right, so another fault which we get, and I'll tell you about this, okay, is when a wire like a twin core, say you've had like a marker lamp on it, and it's been cut because this wire might be redundant but it's left live. What can happen is that if you see in there, yeah, you see just in there, those two wires, you get corrosion build up over the top of it, they make a contact and then they can blow fuses. Yeah, whether you're a 12-volt person with a little trailer, or you've got a big 24-volt system, semi-trailer or drawbar or whatever. Rule of thumb is to cut the wires, pare it back, bend this back, take this one out of the way, then there's no chance of it shorting. Okay, anybody who's done a Haldex ABS system where you've had to take two sensors off, left them together, then the ECU is looking for another sensor once those two wires have corroded together, yeah. So you always do that, and tape it out of the way, yeah, or cut the wire, disconnect it from the junction box or whatever, yeah. Anyway, some more stuff here for you. Right then, so what I've got here is a few misdemeanors, a couple of them. I don't know why there's two sets of fittings in one wire, because the more couplings there are in a system, the more resistance, the more corrosion, the more problems you get. It doesn't help having stuff wrapped up in black tape. I must admit that this one is actually tidy. The guy who done this, guy or girl who's done this, staggered them, which is actually quite tidy compared to this, where these two are just put together. Yeah, it's a bit more thought gone into this. However, yeah, I had to trim off the wire on something when I fitted a new lamp, and this is just a waste of connectors really, because it could have taken one end, trimmed the other end and put them together. There was plenty of wire there. Don't know why that happens, it just does. The other one, this one's actually quite interesting. This one came in for repair. This marker lamp was out, and what the guy had done, this was on night shift, he'd repaired the wire. However, when I got to it, this lamp was only working on this little bit, the other two aren't working. So yeah, but that wasn't the problem. What it was, we had a short in this system, and what had happened, it kept blowing the fuses. The driver had come back, he'd lost the marker lights down one side, and what I noticed, I put another fuse in and the fuse blew really slowly. Yeah, and that told me that that was at the back end of the trailer somewhere. Yeah, the further away a fuse blows, or should I say, the further away the fault is from the fuse, the longer it takes the fuse to blow, so it fizzles rather than goes crack. Yeah, you'll see this if you ever try to fix a short by just keep putting fuses in. Yeah, it's just a rule of thumb. It does actually work, because after looking around the trailer, what I'd found under a cable tie, this had been cable tied to a piece of metal, so it was shorting through the chassis. I actually had a short to earth. Yeah, you can see that. Yeah, so that was the wire rubbed. The guy had secured it because it was a brand new cable tie, and he hadn't seen this. Obviously it's a little bit more emphasised because I've opened this now, but you can see that, yeah, just there. Yeah, so yeah, I'm not looking for a medal here, I'm just saying that this sort of thing happens, yeah, quite often. These connectors, believe it or not, don't actually rot too much. They're quite good. As you can see, he's reused it and then fixed it again. Used the devil's spawn, which is the spawn of Satan, is this black tape. Hate this stuff. Yeah, nothing's waterproof, and anything to help electrical connectors dry out is a bonus. Yeah. So anyway, that's just that. What I want to say is the little multimeter that I've been showing in a few videos now, the £15 one from eBay. Yeah, it was calibrated today and it passed. Yeah, this with flying colours. We have to have things calibrated, and if they fail we can't use them. Yeah, it's the same with things like torque wrenches. That's been calibrated, checked, and that's okay. And also this little piece of torque wrench equipment which I got from Forby a few years ago. I use this now and then because it goes up to 200 Newton meters. Yeah, that passed as well. That's brilliant. Okay, so that was quite a good little investment, that. So Forby 4x4. Anyway, that's it for today. I'll see what other little anomalies I can come up with later.